Somebody had asked about using eye pins, and so I was going to show you how I do it. I've got 3 decades made here, and I'm on the 4th decade right here. See Our Father, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll finish up this decade. I'll show you how I use these eye pins. When I open this up, I don't just push straight back and pull this straight back. What I do is I kind of push that direction also. And with this, I kind of pull this direction also when I swing it open. And what that does, it not only swings it open to where you can put it through that loop there, but it also kind of closes it. And when I close it, I do the same thing. I kind of push this one this way instead of just straight back here. And that way they actually will hit each other. The end of the loop will hit, and I can actually feel it riding up the side of the wire there because the wire's round. And then when I do that, I know this is already closed because it rode up there. Like that. We'll put a bead on here. And I use eye pins that are a little longer than necessary, because I do it the same way if I'm working off a roll of wire. If I'm working off a roll of wire, I take the wire. I have a mark on here. I don't know if you can see, I have a mark on there where I want to be. I take the roll of wire and I just push it around. And this is why I'm wearing these gloves. You can see where the wire's been pushing in there over and over. This is a golfing glove, and I cut these 3 fingers out of it. And it's an old golfing glove. I probably need to replace that one. But I've probably made dozens of rosaries with this glove here, so it saves your fingers. You don't have to. I can do it without the glove, but it helps. So then make sure this bead is down against there, and I just grab it like so after I've swung it around and cut that off. Grab that like so. And now I'm going to turn the bead, and while I'm turning it, I'm pushing it down on here so that this loop here seats up into the bead a little bit. Now then I'm going to push this back. I get something like that. Now when I grab this, a lot of people say grab right at the very, very end and you get a nice round loop. I'm grabbing like that. I got just a little bit sticking out because I'm wanting a little more of a teardrop shape. So now when I turn this over, I'm not just turning it like this. I'm turning and I'm pushing back against it too, because I want to keep this bend back here. I don't want to just flip it back over. So I'll grab that, have a little bit sticking out, and I want to pull this down and turn it so that's seated in as tight as it can go. And now while I'm pushing back, I turn it around and pop that end right into the end of the bead there. And so when I do that, then that bead is on there. It doesn't slide back and forth. You know, it's just not sliding that way. Here we'll go through that again. I'm going to push it. Again, I'm pushing like that so that it kind of slightly closes the thing, and then I'm pushing it to where then it rides up on the side there. Now what you can do, a lot of people, they will close these like this. Now, if I do that, I'm going to try to get in as close as I can to the pivot point, because then I need less force. If you're doing it like this, if you're twice as far away from the pivot point, you need twice as much force. And if you're using a lot of force, you risk collapsing it. But if I don't get it closed all the way, then I will pinch them shut, but I'll do it closer to the pivot point. Okay, now I'm putting this finger underneath here to kind of hold that pin up in there and hold the bead down. And I find my mark there. Now I've got this loop going this way, so this loop will go the other way. And just push it around. Pull it back there with my finger. Come around here. Now I'm putting my thumb on the tip here, so this finger here can pull the bead down. Keep it seated down there. And snip it off like that. And I think my cutters might be time to replace them, because it's cutting pretty good, but still, I got to knock them off sometimes. Now, okay, I'm turning this bead, seating it down there, and then I push this away. Have just a little bit out there, and as I'm turning it this way, I'm pushing back a little bit too, to keep the first bend in there. Okay, let's seat the bead down there again. And there we go. It looks like that. Okay, what do I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go ahead and see if I can go ahead and put an Our Father bead in here eventually too, because that's a little bit different. Because of the way I do eye pins, I don't know that there's much advantage to doing that or just working off a roll of wire. But I do have eye pins around here that I've bought, so I'm going to go ahead and use them up. Let's see what we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, this is going to be number 10. The number 10's a little different because we got to put some chain on it. Now here's the only difference with this one. We got to remember where the end of this loop is. Goes in there. We got to swing out the right end, so it's, take this and open it up. There it is. And then I've got my chain here. I get this in bulk, but then I cut off like a foot at a time or something to work with. There we go. And if you do this right, you can actually feel the end of that pop out of that hole of the bead and pop back in when you swing it back in. So I'm going to swing it back in, and there's usually a little bit of resistance as you're getting over the edge, and it pops in there, and then you see there's no space. It's actually, the end is tucked in. And if you need to get a little more in there, you can usually do it like this. Give it a little squeeze real close to here where you get more pressure and kind of put that in. But that one didn't really need anything. That's good. So let's see. We got our father bead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and our chain. I use these big diagonal cutters, Craftsman, for this chain, so I don't tear up my smaller cutters. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to cut this side. These cutters are so big I can't really do them both at once. So then I'll do this side, and when I do this, I'll go ahead and hold it, because otherwise the little parts fly everywhere. Oh, there we go. And then we got to do an Our Father bead. Whoops. Okay. This bead here, the end isn't some of that the stuff they use to stain it or whatever. The lacquer, I don't know what it is, kind of plugged it up. That happens sometimes. This is a tiny little square file. I just kind of do that, and that usually fixes that. On a wood bead. And then we have to do the same thing on the other end of the Our Father bead. We got to remember which end is the end of the loop. Tuck it in there. Swing it out. Some chain. Swing it in there. That one looks like it does need to get squeezed into a little more. Yeah, there we go. I like that better. And anyway, then we cut off after 4 links in this chain, and we'll start on the 5th decade. So that shows how I do this with eye pins. Bye.